Welcome to my channel Liberty Old Coin, another exciting episode where we dive deep into the hidden treasures that might be sitting right under your noses. You know, it's a fascinating world out there. First up, let's talk about a small piece of metal that you've probably held in your hand dozens of times without giving it a second glance. I am, of course, talking about the Australian 20-cent coin. Specifically, we are zooming in on one particular year. A year that marks the very beginning of a new era for Australia, 1966. This was the year Australia said goodbye to the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence, and hello to decimal currency. It was a monumental shift in the country's history, and the coins minted that year were the first of their kind, carrying the hopes of a modernizing nation. They feature the effigy of a young Queen Elizabeth II, a design that speaks to a time of change and optimism across the globe. Now, why on earth would a simple 20-cent piece, a coin that probably buys you nothing more than a few minutes at a parking meter, ever be considered valuable? The answer, as with most things in life, lies in the details. It's not the coin itself that's valuable, but rather a tiny, almost invisible secret that a select few of them hold. We're talking about a secret that has coin collectors, or numismatists as they're formally known, scouring through jars of loose change for decades. It's a secret that transforms a pocket full of spare coins from a mundane collection of metal into a potential gold mine. And the best part? You could be walking past this treasure every single day. So what is this incredible secret? It's all in the number 2. On the reverse side of the coin, where you see the famous platypus designed by Stuart Devlin and the large numeral 20 indicating its value, you need to look very, very closely at the bottom of that number 2. On a standard 1966 20-cent coin, the base of the number 2 is perfectly flat and straight. It's a clean, uniform line. But on the valuable variety, something magical happened. This specific coin features what is known as a wavy baseline. If you look at the bottom of the 2, you will see a distinct, unmistakable wave in the metal, a slight but clear bump that makes the baseline undulate. It's a tiny, almost imperceptible flaw to the untrained eye, but to an expert, it's a beacon of immense value. How did this happen? Well, it wasn't a deliberate design choice, but rather a fascinating minting error. Back in 1966, the Royal Mint in London was contracted to strike a significant portion of Australia's new decimal coins. It is believed that one of the dies used in London to stamp these 20-cent pieces was accidentally bumped or damaged before it was put into use. This small shift in the die created the wavy baseline effect on every coin it produced. The error was likely noticed quickly, and the die was probably taken out of service, which is why this variety is so incredibly rare today. It's a small, accidental glitch in the manufacturing process that has become a holy grail for collectors. Now, let's talk numbers because I know that's what you're all waiting for. Is it really that valuable? The answer is a resounding yes, but the value is a sliding scale based on one crucial factor: condition. A coin that has been jangling around in pockets and purses for nearly 60 years will show its age. It will have scratches, worn-down features, and a loss of its original mint luster. For a well-worn but still identifiable 1966 wavy baseline 20-cent coin, you could be looking at a price tag ranging from $200 to an impressive $600. That's not a bad return on a 20-cent investment, is it? But hold on to your seats, because the value skyrockets from there. If you happen to find one of these coins in what collectors call extremely fine or uncirculated condition, meaning it looks almost as perfect as the day it was made, with all the fine details of the platypus and the queen's hair still sharp and clear, the value explodes. For a coin in this superior condition, we're talking about a price range of $3,000 to a staggering $5,500. Some sources even suggest that in the highest possible grades, these coins can command prices that exceed even that, making them a truly significant find. Imagine finding a coin worth over $5,000 just by checking your spare change. Now, you might be wondering, how many of these things are actually out there? The total mintage for the 1966 20-cent coin was substantial, with around 58.2 million coins struck between the Royal Mint in London and the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra. However, The wavy baseline variety is only known to exist from that one specific damaged die in London, and it was likely only used for a very short time. This means that out of the 30 million coins struck in London, only a tiny, unknown fraction bear this distinctive error. This scarcity is the very essence of its value. It's a needle in a haystack, a rare bird among millions of common ones. But wait, the story of the valuable 20-cent coin doesn't end there. While a 1966 wavy baseline is the most famous, there are other 20-cent pieces that can also fetch a pretty penny. For instance, some 1981 20-cent coins were mistakenly struck on planchets, the blank metal disc intended for Hong Kong $2 coins. These incredibly rare errors are thought to be worth around $7,500 each. There are also other years and minting varieties, such as different claw configurations on the platypus or coins from specific mints like the Royal Canadian Mint in 1981 that have their own dedicated followers and higher values. It just goes to show that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. So what does this mean for you? It means that this video is your official call to action. Don't just dump your spare change into a jar and forget about it. Don't let your kids use those old coins for their toy cash register. You need to become a detective in your own home. Go and find that old money jar, that collection of coins in your car's cup holder, or that tin your grandparents kept in the back of the wardrobe. This is a treasure hunt, and the prize could be thousands of dollars. It's a real-life adventure that requires nothing more than a keen eye and a few minutes of your time. And when you're searching, be thorough. You're not just looking for any 1966 20-cent coin. You're looking for the one with the secret. You need to examine the base of the number 2 on every single 1966 coin you find. Is the bottom line perfectly straight? Or does it have that distinctive telltale wave? You might even want to use a magnifying glass or take a close-up photo with your phone to zoom in on the detail. This tiny difference is the difference between a coin worth 20 cents and a coin worth over $5,000. It's a life-changing amount of money for something so small. Imagine the thrill of actually finding one. Picture yourself holding that coin, knowing that you have discovered something that thousands of collectors dream about. It's not just about the money, although that is certainly a huge incentive. It's about the connection to history, the excitement of the hunt, and the satisfaction of knowing a secret that most people are completely oblivious to. You would be holding a piece of Australian history that almost didn't exist, a beautiful accident from the very dawn of the decimal era. And the beauty of it is that people are still finding them today. Just recently, a Victorian coin collector named Michael McCauley shared on social media that he has personally found 3 of these wavy baseline coins over the years. In the comments of his videos, every day people have chimed in to share their own success stories. One person sold one for $300, while another simply found one at home. It's not a myth or a legend. It's a real, ongoing phenomenon. These treasures are still out there, just waiting for the right person to come along and spot them. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Value is often hidden in plain sight. It's in the details we ignore, the history we forget, and the objects we take for granted. The 1966 Australian 20-cent coin is a perfect metaphor for this. It teaches us to look closer, to question the ordinary, and to appreciate the stories that even the smallest things can tell. The maximum value you could potentially get for one of these rare coins is a breathtaking $5,500, maybe even more for a truly perfect specimen. Don't let this opportunity swim away like a platypus in the night. This is your moment. Pause this video if you have to, but go right now and start searching. Look through every coin within your reach. You have all the information you need to become an instant expert. Share this video with your friends and family so they can join the hunt too. Who knows, the next time we talk, you might be the one with the incredible story of finding a small fortune in your own spare change. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Next coin, the Australian 1967 20-cent coin. If you've been following the world of coin collecting, you've probably heard the incredible stories about its 1966 predecessor, the famous wavy baseline variety that can sell for thousands of dollars. That coin has captured the imagination of everyone with a jar of old change. But what about the coin that came next, the 1967 issue. Is it just the forgotten sibling, or does it hold its own secret potential for value? Today, we're going to take a deep and honest look at this specific coin, exploring its history, its current standing in the market, and most importantly, whether it has the potential to become a valuable treasure in the future. We're going to leave no stone unturned. The 1967 Australian 20-cent coin is, at its heart, a piece of history from the very dawn of the decimal currency era in Australia. The switch from pounds, shillings, and pence to dollars and cents in 1966 was a massive moment for the nation, a symbol of modernity and change. The coins from those first couple of years are the pioneers, the very first of their kind to jingle in the pockets of Australians. The 1967 coin is part of that inaugural group, carrying the same iconic design. The young and elegant effigy of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Mackin on the front, and the beloved, uniquely Australian platypus designed by Stuart Devlin on the back. It's a beautiful, classic design that has stood the test of time. Now, when we talk about value, the first place we have to look is at the numbers, specifically the mintage figures. And here, the story of the 1967 coin begins to diverge significantly from the 1966 rarity. In 1967, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra was in full swing, producing a staggering 83,848,000 of these 20-cent pieces. That's nearly 84 million coins. To put that in perspective, that's an enormous number, indicating that this was a workhorse coin, struck in vast quantities to meet the needs of a country fully embracing its new currency. It was never intended to be a scarce item for collectors. It was made to be spent. This massive number immediately tells us that finding a standard 1967 20-cent coin in your everyday change is not a rare event. It was released into circulation in huge volumes and has been floating around for nearly 6 decades. Because of this, the base level value for a common, circulated example is essentially its face value, or just a tiny bit more. Some coin catalogs and price guides list the value of a typical 1967 20-cent coin at around 48 cents USD, which is just a small premium above its 20-cent Australian face value. For most of the coins you might find, that's the reality, a small piece of history, but not a financial windfall. But, and this is a crucial but, this is not the end of the story. The phrase common in circulated condition is the key. The real value, the hidden potential, lies not in the coin itself, but in its condition. As one expert source notes, despite the massive mintage, this coin is rather scarce in choice condition. What does choice condition mean? It means coins that were somehow set aside shortly after they were minted, that never saw the inside of cash register or the bottom of a purse. These coins survived with their original mint luster intact, with no scratches or wear, looking almost as perfect as the day they were made. This is where the pursuit of value becomes a treasure hunt. Finding a 1967 20-cent coin is easy. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is the real challenge. Think about it. Out of almost 84 million coins, the vast majority have been handled, jostled, and worn down over the last 58 years. The ones that were forgotten in a drawer or carefully stored away are the exceptions, the needles in a very large haystack. And for collectors who prize quality and perfection, those are the only coins they are interested in. A coin in average condition might only be worth its weight in metal, but a coin in exceptional condition is a different story entirely. So what is that story worth in dollars right now? Let's look at some real-world examples. A professionally graded 1967 20-cent coin, certified by a reputable service like PCGS as MS65, which stands for Gem Uncirculated, can have a market value significantly higher than a pocket-worn coin. One such coin was listed for sale by a coin dealer at a price that reflects this premium. While a single listing isn't a definitive price guide, it demonstrates that there is an active market for high-quality examples. Furthermore, if you look at auction records, you can see the value for these coins in high grades is well established. A 1967 20-cent coin recently appeared at auction with an estimated value between $6 and $9. This tells us that even in the eyes of professional auction houses, a standard example doesn't command a high price. However, you must remember that these are estimates for a typical coin, not the absolute maximum for a perfect specimen. The value climbs as the condition climbs, from good to very fine to extremely fine, and finally to the top uncirculated grades. Now, for the question that is probably burning in your mind, can a 1967 20-cent coin be valuable in the future? The answer is a qualified and exciting yes, but we have to be smart about it. We're not talking about the 84 million common coins turning into gold. We're talking about the tiny fraction of those 84 million that are in the highest possible grades. The future value lies in condition rarity. As the years go by, coins in pristine condition become harder and harder to find. People who stored them pass away, collections get broken up, and the number of truly flawless examples remaining in the world will only ever decrease. So, how high can a maximum value go? It's impossible to give an exact future price, but we can look at the trajectory of other modern coins with similar stories. The 1966 wavy baseline 20-cent is an extreme example because of its unique error, but it shows the public's appetite for rare decimal coins. The 1967 coin doesn't have a famous error like that, but its value is entirely tied to its condition. A 1967 coin graded MS66 or MS67, which are among the very best in existence, could theoretically be worth hundreds of dollars today. In the future, as the pool of collectors grows and the number of these high-grade coins stays the same or shrinks, the price could rise substantially. The maximum you could sell one for at this very moment, in the highest known grade, might surprise you. Based on market trends for similar coins of this era, a truly perfect, top-graded 1967 20-cent coin could potentially fetch several $100s, and some optimists might even speculate it could approach four figures for an absolutely flawless, once-in-a-generation specimen. While that is a long shot for most, the potential for a return of hundreds of dollars on a 20-cent investment is a fantastic motivation. The maximum you could realistically expect for a superb, uncirculated coin at this time might be in the range of $300 to $600, depending on the buyer and the precise grade. This is the opportunity that should excite you. It's not about finding a coin that is rare by its date. It's about finding a coin that is rare by its survival. It's about quality, not just quantity. You have the power to look at a 1967 20-cent coin not just as 20 cents, but as a potential candidate for a premium collection. You need to train your eye to look for the shine, the lack of marks, the sharpness of the platypus's fur, and the queen's hair. These are the details that separate a pocket coin from a prize. So, what is your mission, should you choose to accept it? It is to hunt. Go through every old coin jar, every inherited collection, every roll of coins you get from the bank. Look for the 1967 date. When you find one, don't just toss it aside. Hold it up to the light. Look at its surface. Is it dull and scratched? Or does it have a brilliant, cartwheel-like luster that spins as you tilt it? If it's the latter, you may have found something special. You may have found one of the scarce, in-choice condition coins that experts talk about. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. This is a treasure hunt where the prize is real and the potential is significant. Imagine the thrill of finding a coin in such beautiful condition that it could be worth 1,500 times its face value or more. It's a story you could tell for years. Share this video with your family and friends. Get them involved in the search. The more eyes looking, the higher the chance someone find a winner. The 1967 20-cent coin is waiting for you to look at it with new eyes, to see its hidden potential. Get searching, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one to uncover a hidden gem. Second coin, Australian 1976 20-cent coin. This is a coin that sits right in the middle of Australia's decimal currency journey. A piece minted a full decade after the revolutionary switch from pounds to dollars in 1966. By 1976, the new money system was firmly established, and the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra was in full production mode, churning out millions of these iconic platypus coins to meet the needs of the nation. It's a coin that has been in pockets, cash registers, and piggy banks for nearly 50 years now, and its story is one of quiet persistence rather than explosive rarity. The history of this coin is rooted in practicality. It was built for one simple reason: to facilitate trade and commerce across Australia. The 20-cent coin replaced the old florin from the pre-decimal era, matching it in size and value to ensure a smooth transition. By 1976, the design was already familiar to everyone. On one side, you have the elegant and youthful second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Mackin, showing her wearing the iconic girls of Great Britain and Ireland diamond tiara. On the other, you have the beloved and uniquely Australian platypus, swimming through stylized water, a masterpiece of design by Stuart Devlin that has remained unchanged since the very first decimal coins were struck. Now, let's address the big question that is probably on your mind. How many people actually want to buy this coin? The answer is more nuanced than you might expect. The demand for a 1976 20-cent coin is not like the demand for the famous 1966 wavy baseline variety, which sends collectors into a frenzy. That coin is a legend, a known rarity with a dramatic error. The 1976 coin is different. It appeals to a different kind of collector, or rather, to collectors with a different kind of goal. The people who want to buy this coin are typically those who are building complete date sets of Australian decimal coins. They need a 1976 coin to fill that specific spot in their collection, to have every year represented from 1966 to the present day. So, the demand is steady, but it's not a stampede. Is its value really high or low? Let's be completely honest and clear about this. For the vast majority of 1976 20-cent coins you will find in your spare change, the value is very low. It is a common coin. The mintage figures back this up completely. In 1976, the Royal Australian Mint produced a staggering 59,774,000 of these coins for circulation. That is nearly 60 million pieces. When something exists in that kind of quantity, simple economics dictates that its value will not be high. A coin that has been circulating for decades will show wear, and its value will hover very close to its face value of 20 cents, perhaps just $1 or $2 at most for one in decent condition. This is the reality for the common, everyday find. But, and this is the crucial part that you absolutely must understand, the value is not low across the board. The value skyrockets when you stop looking at the coin as a piece of currency and start looking at it as a collectible in pristine condition. The key here is the grade, the state of preservation. An average coin might be worth 20 cents, but a coin that has survived in mint state with all its original luster and not a single scratch or mark is a completely different animal. This is where the 1976 coin reveals its hidden potential. The price guides show this transformation in stunning clarity. Let's look at the numbers because this is where the motivation to search truly begins. A certified 1976 20-cent coin graded MS63, which is a solid uncirculated grade, is valued at around $4.60. That's a nice little bump from 20 cents. Move up to MS65, a significantly higher grade representing a near-flawless coin, and the value jumps to $10.50. But watch what happens as we climb to the very top of the grading scale. A coin graded MS66 is valued at $19.20. And then we get to MS67. An MS67 1976 20-cent coin is a thing of beauty, a coin that is virtually perfect under magnification. The value for such a coin is $52.50. From 20 cents to over $52. That is a return of more than 250 times your initial investment. And what about the absolute maximum value? What's the most money you could possibly sell one for? This is where we have to look at the special versions of the coin. In 1976, alongside the 60 million circulation coins, the Mint also produced proof coins. These are special strikes made for collectors, with highly polished dies and planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish and incredibly sharp details. Only 21,200 of these proof 1976 20-cent coins were made. These were sold in special sets and were never intended for circulation. Because of their superior quality and much lower mintage, these proof coins are the true prizes. A perfect top-grade proof 1976 20-cent coin is a rare and desirable item. Its value is much harder to pin down because they don't sell every day, but they can easily command prices well over $100, and in the highest grades with original packaging, perhaps even more. So, you see, the value is a story of two extremes. The coin you pull from a jar of old change is likely worth its weight in copper nickel, but the coin that was carefully stored away in a collection or the special proof version is where the real money lies. This is your call to action. This is why you should be motivated. You now hold the secret knowledge. You know that not all 1976 20-cent coins are created equal. You know that a tiny fraction of those 60 million coins are hiding in plain sight, waiting to be recognized for their true worth. Imagine the thrill of the hunt. Imagine taking that old coffee can full of coins and carefully sorting through them. You're not just looking for a date. You're looking for a diamond in the rough. You're looking for that one coin that somehow escaped the wear and tear of daily life, that was dropped in a drawer and forgotten, preserving its mint freshness for nearly half a century. When you find a coin that shines, that has no nicks or scratches, that looks almost new, you have to know what you're holding. And don't forget the proof versions. While they're rarer to find in the wild because they were sold in sets, they do sometimes get broken up or rediscovered in old collections. A 1976 proof 20-cent coin is a tangible piece of minting artistry, a coin that was made to be perfect. If you ever come across a coin that has a deeply mirrored background and frosted, detailed design, you may have struck gold, or rather struck proof. The demand from collectors for these high-quality pieces is real and active. There are thousands of people around the world who log onto numismatic sites, check price guides, and search auction listings every single day, hoping to add a high-grade 1976 20-cent coin to their collection. They are the ones who understand that condition is king. They are willing to pay a significant premium for a coin that stands out from the 60 million others. They are your market. So what are you waiting for? This is not just a history lesson. It's a treasure map. The 1976 20-cent coin is waiting for you to look at it with new eyes. It's a coin that was built to be spent, but its true destiny for a select few is to be cherished and valued. Go through your change. Look at every 1976 coin you can find. Check its condition. Look for that uncirculated gleam. And if you're really lucky, keep an eye out for those old mint sets or proof sets at garage sales or in family heirlooms. The maximum value of a standard circulation coin in top grade is over $50, but the potential for a perfect proof coin is even higher, possibly reaching several $100s. The treasure is out there. Now go and find it.